Hello and welcome to Transcendent Voices, Volume 3. My name is Tessa Jade Price, and I'm here today with SunShine Raynebow. Hi, SunShine Raynebow.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing alright. Would you mind telling us your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her, they, them, queen, and goddess.
Beautiful. Wonderful pronouns. Big fan. I'm going to read out your bio here real quick. SunShine Raynebow is a poet, artist, activist, and drag queen. She wants to change the world by spreading love and kindness through herself and others. SunShine wants to inspire others to be themselves, to be proud of themselves, to love themselves, and to be kind to themselves. Her activism started in high school when she saw that the system wasn't benefiting her as a queer person of color. SunShine's goal in life is just to be herself as a black, queer, trans woman and change the system so people who look like Raynebow can benefit too. Thanks for joining us. That is beautiful. I'm familiar with you. We do know each other. We've worked together in a TAM capacity, and I know we've done a bunch of stuff. But I know something very important to you is that you're a drag queen. How did that start, and what does that mean to you, the drag culture and being a drag queen?
So for me, I started drag a long time ago. I forgot when.
Mm-hmm.
But I started drag a long time ago because I was unhappy.
Yeah.
I was in a place of unhappiness, and I needed to go to a happy place, and my happy place was going to drag shows. And so I would get in drag, and I would go to drag shows and just have fun. And like, for me, drag helped me realize that I wasn't just dressing up as a woman in drag.
Mm-hmm.
I was dressing up as myself.
Yeah.
Like, drag helps me realize I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And drag for me is an expression of art, expression of love, expression of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, drag helps me put out kindness into the world and helps me put out love into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because this world is a really crazy place, and drag just brings me happiness and brings me joy.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
And I just want other people to experience that love and that joy too.
Of course. That's wonderful. No, the queer and trans community, it's so important to find community and to find an outlet for expression. And it seems like drag really helped you express yourself and meet people and just have a good time. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. So you're also a poet, aren't you? I know you might recite something later, but how did you get into poetry? And, you have a very specific style. Who would you say your inspirations for your poetry are?
Yeah. For me, like, my poetry is affirmations, and my poetry is all about loving myself and being kind to myself and just putting that out into the world and teaching others how to love themselves and be kind to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I started poetry when I was in high school. I would go to poetry slams and open mic nights, and I would just go there as an audience member and sit in the audience and like enjoy the show.
Mm-hmm.
I would go there and sit in the audience and enjoy the show and like enjoy watching other people perform. But like, it was what took me to get on stage was another person telling me, "You're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Go up there and perform and just see what happens."
Mm-hmm.
And I went up there and performed, and I enjoyed myself, and now I won't get the fuck off stage.
There's nothing like performing on a stage. I'm not in the whole poetry or drag scene as much as you are, but I've done music on stage. I speak or whatever. I do a bunch of crap. But the important thing here is that you do so many things, and it's very inspiring. It's very cool, and just the fact that you are who you are and that you have this mission is very powerful, I think, to a lot of people, and I think you've inspired a lot of people. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Like, for me, the reason I exist in this world doing what I do
Mm-hmm.
is because for me it was hard for me in life growing up. Like, in life growing up, I hated myself. I didn't like a lot of things about myself because I was afraid to be myself. because I was afraid to be myself. And like now in life, now that I'm able to be myself freely and like not care about what other people think about me or how other people feel about me, like all that matters to me is that I love me and that I care about me. And so I write my poems. I write my poems and I perform my drag and I make my art for myself, but I make it for other people too. I make affirmations art and I put affirmations into everything that I do because other people need to hear that. Other people need to hear that it's okay for you to love yourself.
Yeah.
That it's okay for you to be kind to yourself. It's okay for you to be who you are and not be afraid of it.
That's wonderful. And I have a theory, tell me if I'm wrong, but your name is SunShine Raynebow. Is your name itself an affirmation? That's great.
So the reason I named myself SunShine Raynebow, so when I started doing drag a long time ago, I was like, I need to go to my happy place. And the happy place was drag. And like going out into the sun and just like shining in the sun, like that makes me happy. Like just being in the sun makes me happy. And like, you know, Sunshine Raynebow reflects who I am, how my personality is, the vibe that I give off. So I needed a name that matched that.
Yeah.
Like the name that I was given legally at birth didn't match the vibe that I was giving.
I get that. Yeah.
And I just needed something.
That was you, right?
I just needed something that represented me and that fit me for who I am.
Yeah.
And so I first named myself SunShine. SunShine Ray Pop. That was my first drag name. And then over time, it became Sunshine Raynebow. And like, over time it became Sunshine Raynebow. And like, I was like, yeah, Sunshine and Rainbow together. That
it like fits.
That's just what it's supposed to be.
It fits. Yeah.
And yeah, now, yeah, that's what my name is, and I love that. I love that I got to choose my own name. Yeah. I love that I got to choose my name that fits me. But that belongs to me. Like
yeah.
And like I love that as trans people, we get to choose our names. We get to choose.
Yeah. How
we want to live our lives and how we want to exist in this world for ourselves. Like, for me, it just, it's what I needed. And when I say my name to people, they get happy.
They know what it means.
When I say Sunshine, when I say my name is Sunshine Raynebow, if someone's having a bad day, their day immediately gets better.
Yeah.
And I love that my name is able to do that for people. I love that.
Literally bringing sunshine into their lives.
I love that me as a person, with my art and everything, I'm able to make people's lives better.
That's wonderful. And I know for a lot of trans people, including myself, being able to choose your name and kind of the self-creation, self-actualization in a way, is very important because it gives us a space to kind of develop and a space to kind of express ourselves and a space to kind of define ourselves for who we are and not just who, where we came from or who was involved then. But that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. You give a wonderful personal story. I wanted to ask you about your activism. So you've done a lot of activism. We're here under the Trans Advocacy Madison banner, literally. So I know that you're involved in lots of stuff for equal rights and for fighting for justice. And would you mind talking about that a little bit?
So when I was in high school, I started to become an activist. I started to be an activist because I saw that the system wasn't okay. Like, I saw that the system wasn't shit. And that the system wasn't benefiting me as a queer person. And like back then, I knew I was queer, but I was afraid to be myself. But like, I saw that the system wasn't good. And I was like, I need to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, what motivated me to get up and fight was seeing someone else struggle, seeing someone else have to fight for immigrant rights and fight the system to get their brother back at home. Um, a friend of mine, when I was in high school, invited me to be part of this group called Youth Empowered in the Struggle, which is part of Voces de la Frontera. I'm from Milwaukee originally. I lived in Milwaukee all my life, grew up there, and then I moved here to Madison in 2020. And
What are you to move here?
and but like back then in high school, it was like I saw this friend. She invited me to be part of this group, and I said, "That seems interesting. I'm interested." So I went to a meeting. She shared her story on why it's important to fight for immigrant rights and why she's fighting, and she was telling me how she was fighting for her brother to get back into her family. And I heard this, and see, in my life, one of my brothers, he unfortunately got taken away when he was younger. He got put in foster care. He got put in foster care, and it was as a young kid that was hard to see because I couldn't do anything about it. And now when I got older and I was in high school and I see that the system's not benefiting me, it's not benefiting my friends, I'm like, I need to do something about this. I need to fight I need to fight the system for the greater good and not just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do something to help others and know that I'm making a change in this world. And like, my grandmother taught me that. My grandmother taught me to be kind to other people, to help other people when you can. And my grandmother taught me to believe in myself and just keep on keeping on. And like, my grandmother is a big part of my life, and like, I do what I do in the world because of my grandmother. And
you're very close to her.
And like, so that's when the activism all started. Like back when I was in high school, and like it just continued from there. And like, as when I first started activism, I was fighting for immigrant rights, and then I started to do work in the Black Lives Matter movement, and I've been able to travel many places and do a lot of things with my activism work, and I love it. But sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes it gets stressful. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I don't need to go to every single thing to make a difference. I sometimes have to remind myself that because burnout exists and it's real.
Oh yeah. A lot of perfectionists in the activism space.
And like, I just have to remind myself of that because like sometimes I forget. And but yeah, I started back then, and I've been fighting for immigrants. I've been fighting for the people in Palestine. I've been fighting for Black Lives Matter. I fight for what I believe in. I fight for what I believe in. I will not shut up about it. I
love that about you.
Will not shut up about it. I will make it loud and clear. I will let my voice be heard. I will let my voice be heard, and I will make sure that other voices are being uplifted as well.
Yeah.
And the way I make sure other voices are lifted is when I'm at a protest and I see a young person chanting, and they don't have a megaphone, I'll give my megaphone over to them. And let them have a moment. Let them have their moment, and I'll take a break because my voice.
Listening.
Because my voice, sometimes I do need to just be quiet for a second and drink some water and take a breath.
Yeah, just kind of get back.
And so when I'm out and I see young people doing what they're doing, I will uplift them in any way that I can. I will literally hold the megaphone for them, or I will give the megaphone to them or give the microphone to them,
Mm-hmm.
and I will make sure they're front and center and their voices are being heard.
Yeah.
Because young people's voices are important.
They're so important.
Like, young people's voices are important. Like, people, I hate when people downgrade what young people have to say and, like, tell young people that their voices aren't worthy and that their voices don't matter. Like, that pisses me off so much. And so when I'm out there, I will make sure that those voices are being heard.
Mm-hmm. It sounds to me like, handing somebody a bullhorn or megaphone when they're trying to say something. It reminds me of platforming community members, listening to community members who are going through stuff and giving them and helping them and supporting them in any way that you can. Right? And I feel like you're really impassioned about giving that space to young people, about giving that space to people who need to demand better from a system that on all these different fronts you talked about immigration, Palestine, trans rights, Black Lives Matter. There's some connecting threads there, right? And there's some differences too, obviously. And you seem to be very impassioned about people just getting their day to say what they need to talk about their lives and just demand better. And I think that's really great.
And it's also it's important to fight for others, even if that struggle that other person or those other people are dealing with ain't got shit to do with you.
Yeah.
It's important to be in that fight with them, even if that fight doesn't necessarily affect you.
Yeah.
It's important to still be in that fight with them because at the end of the day, all of our voices matter and all of us should support each other. All of us should support each other and uplift each other in whatever way that is. And like when I go to protest and I'm not affected by it necessarily,
that's not a direct impact.
I will still go there and support and go there and uplift those voices of those people that it does affect directly, and I will make sure that those voices are being uplifted and those voices are being heard. Like, for an example, I like to go to protests that are led by youth.
Yeah.
And make sure that they have the good sound equipment to make sure they can be loud and clear on the microphone or on the megaphone.
Yeah.
And I will make sure that they're safe. I will do that, and more people need to do that. More people need to understand the importance of stepping up and doing your part when it comes to activism, when it comes to making this world a better place. Like, everybody has everything when it comes to protest and everything. Everything is a role. Like, it's different roles for different things, and it's different. It's different roles for different things, and they're all important roles. But some people need to understand to step back, and allow other people
give somebody space
to step up. And even if you think you're doing something to make things better, sometimes at the end of the day you're not. Sometimes people step in the way and don't allow the people that it's affected directly to be that voice, to be that person in the front, to be those people in the front. And this happens a lot with white people where they're like, oh, I want to make a difference, but then they step in and step over, and they try to push the people that it's affecting directly away to the sidelines. Like, no, you're not the one leading this. I am.
Yeah.
So take direction from me and listen to what I have to say and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And same thing with sometimes older people think they can say whatever they want to younger people because they're like, oh, I'm older than you, so you have to respect me.
Yeah, you're a child or whatever.
You're older than me, so I don't have to listen to what you're telling me. No, age don't matter right now. Doesn't matter if I'm older or younger than you.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm the person leading this. Right now, us as youth are the ones leading this. So you need to listen to us.
Yeah.
You need to listen to us and what we're telling you that we need. That and like that happens a lot where people don't respect the youth or don't respect POC people and understand that this is not what you what this is not
it's
for
not
you.
for you. Yeah.
Like, it's great that you're here supporting us.
It's a solidarity thing.
It's great that you're here supporting us and you're here marching with us, but we need you to listen to us. You can tell us that you're an ally, but we need you to show it.
Yeah.
Like,
center the people affected by any issue or movement. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And I think white people in this space, we do have a big issue with, like any space, taking things over, putting our face up first, just replicating these hierarchies in these places that are supposed to be without them. And, it kind of reminds me of allies in a certain way, of, people trying to help, and sometimes people just don't know what they're doing, or they're, like you said, they're just not giving the space to the people impacted, the youth or the BIPOC people. Like, that space is just not there. And
right.
I suppose sometimes when I'm trying to help out with anything going on, there's always so much going on. It's a matter of, how can I, how do I relate to the issues going on here, and who can I support, and who's centered in this?
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, it's not me, right? Even talking about trans issues, like, I'm not the first one impacted by bans on youth medical care, or I'm not the ones impacted by most, relatively violence on the street. I'm generally safe in those regards, and I think people need to, especially white people, need to use what privilege we have and understand where we are in this equation, and sit down and understand who's in charge of these movements and not try to step on toes. Does that make sense?
Oh, another thing I was going to say is that for me, with activism, one of my biggest inspirations in life when it comes to activism is Marsha P. Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. Like, those two people are very great people, and they hearing their stories, hearing their life stories, and what they went through in the past, and what they did for us to be able to live our lives now. That inspired me, and it inspires me every single day. Marsha reminds me of myself. Marsha and Sylvia reminds me of myself. I look up to them in heaven. I look up to them. I look up to my grandmother. When it comes to thinking about people that inspire me and how I exist in life now, I think about those people. I think about my grandmother. I think about Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, as well as many others. I can go on and about a list of people that inspire me, but those are the top 3 people that inspire me. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say for
That's wonderful.
that.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I think your activism work is really inspiring, and the way that you're passionate about helping the youth and uplifting voices that wouldn't otherwise be uplifted, I think is very amazing, and I think that's part of the reason you're such an iconic activist in this space, in my view. But that's great. I have a couple questions here for you, if that's all right. Just off the bat, if you can say anything to your younger self, what would you say?
If young SunShine was in front of me, I would tell her that, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. I would tell her that everything's gonna be okay. I would tell her to love herself, to be kind to herself, and to be who she is.
Yeah.
And to not be afraid. Um, I would tell her that. Got me over here crying and shit now.
That's all right. Hey. You could take a second. You can drink some tea. Just chill for a second.
Yeah, I would tell her those things. I would tell her that everything's okay. Like,
you'll be all right.
Yeah, that I'm okay. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I exist in this world today as the person who I am because I needed me. Like, young me needed
You're the
me.
person that needed me. Yeah.
Young me needed who I am today. Like, young me needed the person that I am right now. Like, the person I am today is who I wish I was when I was younger. Like, today, now in life, I'm not afraid to be myself. I'm not afraid to go out into the world existing, being myself. But like, when I was younger, I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was afraid to go out into the world and exist, being myself, because of people around me and things around me. But now, who cares? I just love me.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I know that I'm okay. Like, I worry about me.
Yeah.
And what's affecting me and how I feel about myself. And so, yeah, young me, I would tell her, everything's okay. Don't worry.
Perfect. No, that's wonderful, and I think I can relate in certain ways regarding, like, I grew up afraid of things, and I grew up, wanting things to be different, and just the fact that knowing that that's possible feels so difficult sometimes these days for young people. I know you and I both see a lot of young queer people who are struggling with the state of the world and just want to know that they'll survive and they'll be adults and they can be themselves. And I feel like the work you do really.
And like that's why I go out into the world boldly being myself.
Yeah.
Because I want the young people that exist in this world to see me being myself. I want young queer and trans people specifically to see me being myself and know that they can get to this point too.
Yeah.
That they can and will get to this point of existing in the world as an adult, being themselves, loving themselves, being kind to themselves, and knowing that who they are is enough. Knowing that who they are is worthy, that knowing who they are is okay, knowing that it's okay for them to love themselves, be kind to themselves, and be who they are, no matter how they identify or how they want to exist in this world. I exist in this world so that those young people can see me and know that, yeah, everything's going to be okay. And I will not stop fighting until the system is not broken. The system is really fucked.
It's so broken. It's so broken.
I will not stop fighting until the system is not broken. When the system isn't broken, then I'll stop fighting. But until then, I would just keep on fighting, and especially for the youth. I'm especially keep fighting for the youth, and I'm going to make sure those youth voices are lifted up and are being heard. And, like, I go out into the world and I always offer hugs to people because you never know what a person is going through, and you never know how that hug might affect them.
Yeah.
Like, I give people hugs and they feel my good, loving, kind energy.
You do like to give hugs. Like, we hang out sometimes and you're always giving hugs.
They feel my good, loving, kind energy. And, like, I hug people because it's a shift of energy. Like, I hug people because I want the energy that I feel within myself to transfer to someone else and make their day better if they're not having a good day, or make it better even if they are having a good day. And
just create that connection.
I offer hugs to people because it's a way of connecting with someone, and it's a way of helping someone feel loved and helping someone feel like they're cared about. And I understand that everybody don't want a hug. So when I hug people, I don't just assume that they want a hug. I ask, is it okay if I hug you? And if somebody tells me, no, I don't want a hug, I understand. I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather somebody tell me how they
Communicate about things.
how they feel about being hugged or being touched in general. Like, some people don't like being touched, and that's okay. Some people don't want to be hugged or don't even want to shake your hand, and that's all right. Like, that's a boundary that people set, and if that's the way it is, then that's the way it is. But like, even if I'm not able to hug a person, they still feel the energy shift. They still feel the energy transferring to them, and like feel that love and that kindness.
For sure.
Like, so yeah,
that is great. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. That explains a lot of the. I know a lot of people see hugging as this kind of way to connect with people and comfort people when things are not amazing in the world right now. And having a certain amount of comfort there is real nice for people. I wanted to ask you about Sunny Ray Creations. What is Sunny Ray Creations?
So Sunny Ray Creations is my business. Overall, what Sunny Ray Creations is a business where I go out into the world existing, and I bring joy, and I bring love, and I bring kindness into the world, and I spread affirmations of self-love and being kind to yourself and being who you are and not being afraid. I make art. Like, I like to draw a lot.
What's your favorite type of art to make?
Give me a second.
Oh.
I'm looking for an art piece that I can show off.
Yeah.
But I like to draw a lot. I like to paint every now and then. I love writing my poems. I have an art piece over there. There we are. I like to write a lot. I write my poems that are affirmations, and I do drag. I host my own drag shows. I host open mic nights. I host my own drag shows, and when I host the drag shows, I make it all ages, so that people can come enjoy my show with their families, and bring their kids and like just have a good time.
Yeah,
and like
just chill, just vibe.
I call myself the fairy goddess mother. I am everyone's fairy goddess mother.
Yeah, you are.
And I just go out into the world existing, being myself. And like, my Instagram is Sunny Ray Creates. It's SUNNY Ray RAY Creates CREATES. Sometimes words are hard.
Fair enough.
And this is some art that I make.
Some lovely art.
I make a lot of abstract art sometimes, and like I always make art that's bright and colorful and has a bunch of affirmations on it. On here it says, always be you. You are worthy. Always shine your bright light. Always be kind to yourself. Always dream big. Always follow your dreams. You got this. Always love yourself, and you are enough.
You're a very talented artist. Thank you for sharing. The affirmations are just relentless, and I love that. I love that about you. Would you be interested in reciting a poem real quick? And also, I was supposed to ask if there's anything else you would like to share.
I'll share my last thoughts after I recite this poem.
Perfect.
So this poem is called Shine ×4. The reason I wrote this poem is because I needed to remind myself to shine my light. And everyone out there who listens to this poem, whether you hear it in person, whether you hear it through this podcast, or whether you see a video of it, I want every single person that hears this to know that it's okay for you to shine your light and to shine it bright and never stop shining. And it's called Shine Times 4 because my grandmother, like I said, is a big inspiration in my life. And the number 4 represents my grandmother. The number 4 represents my grandmother because she was born on the 4th of July, and the number 4 is a special number to me, and so I incorporated it. I incorporate the number 4 and the word shine throughout my life in many different ways, and this is one of them. So here it is.
Thank
you. At the beginning of this poem, I usually sing to myself or out loud. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, and I do that 4 times. Or I have a friend who sings to sing it with me. I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't feel like it.
That's all right.
But here it is.
Show for that
just imagine that it's happening in your head. And if you want to see these poems, if you want to see me perform more, you can come to one of my shows. You can come to an open mic night that I host. You can come to a drag show that I host. Because sometimes when I'm hosting a drag show and I need to stall, I'll recite some poems or make some jokes on stage because I'm a funny gal, you know.
Yeah,
Anywho, so this poem is called Just Be You. This poem is called Shine Times 4. 1. Just be you. 2. Believe in yourself. 3. Follow your dreams. 4. Spread your wings and you will go far. 5. Love yourself no matter how hard life may get. I said 5. Love yourself no matter how hard life may get. 6. Don't let the world around you stop you from living your best life. 7. Shine your bright light like the star you are. 7. Shine your bright light like the star you are. 7. Shine your bright light like the star you are. 7. Shine your bright light like the star you are. 8. Know that you are worthy. 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 9. Don't let your pain or obstacles in life kill you. You will get through it. 10. Don't let anyone or anything dim your bright light. 11. Life gets better as your journey continues. XOXO, SunShine, Raynebow.
Thank you for sharing.
What I would say to the last thing that I would like to say is to anyone out there listening to this or watching this, however you interact with this, I want you to know that it's okay for you to be yourself. It's okay for you to love yourself. It's okay for you to be kind to yourself. And I want you to remember and know that you are worthy. I want you to know and remember that you are enough and that you are loved and that you belong. This world is a crazy place, but you belong in it and you are enough. And if you just need a little sunshine in your life, you can check out my Instagram at Sunny Ray Creates or Facebook Sunny Ray Creates, and I always post positive, funny things, and I'm always posting about things that I'm doing. And if you just need a person to talk to, hit me up and I'll talk to you about whatever. I'll talk to you about whatever we need to talk about, and I'll help you through things.
Well, I can attest it's been great talking with you. Thank you for joining us here and sharing so much about your personal life and the work that you do. This has been Transcendent Voices with Tessa Jade Price and SunShine Raynebow. Thank you for watching.